Okay, so I know I talk about the Warriors and Golden State a lot, especially for a Phoenix Suns fan, and I told myself outside of my 2K series I wasn't going to talk about them much more, but that had to change. I was browsing the internet and I saw an article from Deadspin come up, saying the Warriors should trade away Steph Curry, and I hurt myself as my eyes were rolling so much from reading it. A few more minutes of browsing and I found this article wasn't the only one. There is somewhat of a consensus that Steph Curry should be traded or walk away after the 2022 offseason. And wow, I thought I had some hot takes, but wow. So before #FreeCurry starts trending, let's talk about this and end this stupid narrative before it starts. What's up guys, if you like the NBA or NBA 2K21 content, consider subscribing to the channel as I'm always uploading new videos. Let's roll this intro. So the first big claim is that the Warriors couldn't even make the postseason. Saying the Warriors didn't make the postseason is some valid criticism on them, but not on Steph Curry. Curry scored 39 in their loss to the Grizzlies. Wiggins even had 22 and 10 with Draymond having a triple-double. But Ja Morant balled out having a career game. But the Warriors, not Steph Curry, are the ones who failed this game. Missing out on the playoffs without your starting shooting guard, the guy who replaced your shooting guard, and your young center is not a reason to blow your whole team up. The next question is Klay Thompson and what is he going to be like when he's back? Klay hasn't played in the NBA since the 2018-19 season, and we don't know exactly what he's going to be like when he comes back. Majority of players are not the same after such an injury. I imagine Klay will still come back a solid defender, but a bit slower and less athletic than he was before. His shooting will still definitely be there, but I do think he will have a smaller role than when he last started. In his last season, the 2018-19 season, he shot 40% from 3, scoring 20 points per game. I don't think he is going to return to the same point, but I think he is still going to be a weapon. While he isn't as effective, the Warriors have also added new pieces who he hasn't gotten a chance to play with, like James Wiseman, Eric Paschall, and Andrew Wiggins. So let's talk about his teammates a little bit. One claim is about Draymond Green getting older and more one-dimensional. Draymond is certainly showing some signs of regression. This year he averaged 7.7 rebounds with 9 assists. Of course though, the stats never do Green justice. Green was one of the best playmakers and off-ball defenders this year, someone who is incredibly valuable to the Warriors offense. Green is also one of the smartest players of all time, and having a unique passer like him is immensely helpful for Steph Curry. While he may fall from an athletic and scoring position, he will always be a smart defender and good passer. The next are the new teammates I mentioned earlier, Andrew Wiggins and James Wiseman. Wiggins had a solid season and showed himself as a number 2 this year. He may not improve too much from the point he's at now, but he scored nearly 19 points per game this year. He did average 20 points from 49% from the field and 41% from 3 after the All-Star break. He definitely had a strong second half of the season. Realistically, I think he is more of a third option or even a starting caliber player on the bench. And James Wiseman is definitely another guy who's a question mark. He only averaged 11 points with 6 rebounds in 39 games this year. He did have a small sample size due to injury, but he did not show off too much. He also had a COVID-shortened basketball season preventing him from playing much high-level basketball in college. Wiseman has certainly shown flashes of being a good around center. If he can progress quickly, he can contribute in a big way, but if not, he may be a trade piece. Another big claim is saying that the championship run is over, but this is something I do disagree with. Steph Curry is a top 15 player in history. As long as he's on your team, your run is never over. Yes, the Western Conference is tough, and there are some question marks on your roster, but one new guy, one additional signing can make a huge difference for the Warriors. Golden State still has pieces and a great coach. Golden State may be in their one last dance phase, but that's what this is. Don't fire sale your team just yet, give the league one more run, and give you guys one more chance. And one point that I do agree with a tiny bit is the toughness of the Western Conference. Both Phoenix and Utah had a good season with good futures. The Nuggets have a great future. The Clippers may fall off depending on Kawhi Leonard. The Mavericks have a great future. The Trailblazers may fall off depending on what happens with Lillard. The Lakers are destined to fall off eventually depending on what happens to LeBron and AD. The Grizzlies have a good future with Morant. The Spurs are going to be irrelevant. The Timberwolves have a few pieces. Pelicans have a great future, Kings have a good future, the Thunder have a lot of draft picks, but overall, I would say that the Western Conference is incredibly tough. But just because you're in a tough conference is not a reason to just get rid of all of your guys and start over. Not to mention, the Warriors may have a lottery pick from the Timberwolves as long as that pick doesn't land in the top 4, as it does have a top 4 protection on it. The Warriors also have their own pick, which should be around the 13th or 14th spot. There are some rumors of Kawhi Leonard leaving the Clippers to join the Warriors. If he were to join the Warriors, that would instantly make Golden State the favorites to win, at least coming out of the West. They would have to lose some of their guys or restructure contracts, but that would definitely be worth it for signing a guy like Leonard. The West is as tough as it has ever been, but the Warriors are not prey. A fully healthy team can still compete. Now this next thing is something that I probably want to make a video on soon, but the authors talk about how once players turn 33, they tend to fall off, and they cited Kobe Bryant's injury when he tore his Achilles at 33 years old. I did look at some all-time greats to compare to Curry, and the results were a little surprising. So Michael Jordan won his last title at 34, LeBron won his most recent one at 35, and may win another one this year at 36. Kareem averaged 24-9 at 34, won a championship but he was the number 2. Shaq averaged 20-9 at 33, won a championship as the number 2. Duncan was the number 1, he was All-NBA averaging 18-10, and he did go on to win a few more championships. Hakeem averaged 27-11 at 33. Dirk averaged 23-7 at 32 with an incredibly impressive championship. Malone averaged 28-10 at 33. Stockton averaged 14-11 at 33, and those two both made the finals. But it is interesting, many players see a drop-off at ages 32 to 34 due to injuries or just other reasons. This does make me wonder, is Curry actually going to drop off? He is going to be 33 next year with a history of injuries, but this year he played 63 of 72 games, arguably having his best season ever, coming off of an injury. There is a chance, like anyone, he gets injured and falls off, but given how strong he was this season, as long as he doesn't have the dreaded Achilles injury, I think he'll be okay for a few more years. Steph Curry has an ageless playstyle. He is always going to be an elite shooter. Even if he isn't as elite of an overall player as he is right now, his shooting is still going to be valuable for teams years to come, just like Kyle Korver, JJ Redick, or Ray Allen on the Miami Heat. I know it's weird to say and it's weird to think of Steph Curry like that, but as a worst case scenario, he is still going to be way better than those guys. Curry likely won't have a drastic fall off, and if he does, his skill set should still be helpful. Are the Warriors in a tricky spot? Yes. Do they have an aging star on the wrong side of 30 and are stuck in a weird rebuilding era? Yes. So what do I do if I'm Golden State? I'm sure as hell not going to trade him. I'm not going to let the second best point guard of all time walk away or ruin my team's reputation by trading him. If you're the Warriors, you go all in and you make one last run for greatness. You go balls to the wall, you put all your chips in the pot, and you use every last resource to get one more shot at the Larry O'Brien trophy. It is easy to forget the Warriors still have pieces. While Klay won't be his usual self, a 16-point per game scorer can mean a lot for an offense. Wiseman has some potential either to grow or either to be used as a trade piece. Draymond will not be the old Draymond, but he's still going to be an incredibly impactful player. The Warriors have draft picks and trade pieces that can be combined for something big. There are also rumors, like I said, of Kawhi leaving the Clippers, heading towards another team in California. He could open up the Warriors window for at least 2 to 3 more years. So are things bad for the Warriors? I wouldn't say they're bad, but they're not good either. But is it over? As long as Steph Curry is on your team, not at all.